Welcome back to a new week, a new month. Horse racing today, right here on Horse Racing Radar TV with yours truly at HRT Rich on X. And of course, to my left, I think it's left. Go that way.
To your
But
right.
it's backwards on to my left on the screen, but to the right when I point is Terry Hollywood. Hey, how's it going, Terry?
Pretty good. Yeah, nice weekend. Not too bad. Supposed to rain a lot, but we didn't get too much rain, so it was all right.
Yeah, we're getting our April showers here in Chicago now to start the month and to end last month. So we'll have our flowers next month. Everything's starting to bloom, and I feel it in my allergies. Well, hopefully, folks tuned in for a big weekend of racing. But that fierceness, Terry, that horse either runs a giant race or runs a bomb, and he certainly ran a giant one there in the Florida Derby. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. That was a great race. Yeah,
absolutely smoked it. So hopefully we had that as our top pick over there. And then we also had the creativity over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet in the one that finished second at 25-1, like way back there. That was our third pick there too. So we had the nice exacta there. It was a pretty solid day. Of course, Bob Baffert's horse won down there in Arkansas. So that one won't be running in the Kentucky Derby. I do think fierceness is likely to be the favorite now after that effort.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And probably a hard favorite, too.
Yeah, I would think so, too. But again, that one just runs either stinkers or sensational. So if you get the stinker on the first Saturday of May, he hasn't really put back-to-back good races together yet. So that should be interesting to see. But we'll have all of that and more. Of course, this weekend, the Kentucky Derby Trail continues on. We're going to have back-to-back wagering guide weeks. Keeneland is opening, so we will have the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes, usually not all that influential. And since Baffert has exited the scene from the Kentucky Derby, the Santa Anita horses not running as well as they have in the past at Churchill. In any case, Terry, free picks of the day today at Guaranteed Tip Sheet are Mahoning Valley. You could see it right there. I think that track is a little off there today too. We'll find out as the racing develops. Just head to the link down there below. Click on that so they know where it is you came from. There, I know where they're coming from, but now tell us where we are going.
Okay, it's 1 mile and 70 yards to start off today. It's a maiden claiming $10,000 claiming price, $19,000 purse for maidens 3-year-olds and upward.
And we must note that the track today at Parx is sloppy, right?
It is. Well, actually, they changed it to muddy.
To muddy, so it's getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
All right, so at 1 mile and 70 yards, notwithstanding the conditions today, you're looking at horses that do get to the front that do well. They do well. Speed does really well. 42% of the time they win wire to wire. The rail is bad, so practically mine. It could not do so as well as its 3-1 odds, perhaps. 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7 get discounted as well. Mr. Terry, we do 10,000 simulations to get some what we call fair odds. Par plus is how many times a horse runs a speed figure in our 10,000 simulations above par for this level. That being 72, so a middling race, call it at best. Also 1,000 simulations to predict who will be on the lead. And then based upon our projected pace, which horse or horses are likely to be in their comfort zone. That's the C zone. Usually we're looking for something at 50 or above, and if you add it all up there, Terry, it doesn't come close to even 6 or 10, 7, whatever. Anyway, who's the one to beat when the gates open?
Well, most of these show some kind of speed. But the 7, that outside horse, has the most speed. So if that 7 gets a good break, it should get to that quarter pole first, and then the 1 shows an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 3 to 1. The 1 also shows the only par plus number. And then the 7 and 2 have C zones, but they're pretty low. They're lower than I normally see.
Yeah, they're almost non-existent, right? So,
yeah.
All right. We also do what they call trip handicapping here. And in this maiden race, so far, really nobody's done a whole lot. The 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, they have not been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. So they'll be looking to, just be close for once. The 1 and the 4 have shown that they prefer to close. In this scenario, usually the horse that gets to the lead, Terry, has a really good shot to win. The others are used to running from behind, and they may become discouraged. Inside Secret, that outside horse does have a 5-point or 1 length advantage over Rolling Deep. And then Praline Pops Bottles. Those three look like they're the quickest. And then in your late speed, maybe the race would be one. They're Practically Mine. Could be at the back of the pack, has about a length and a quarter, length and a half, late speed edge over the rest of the field. Maybe that one, if it can scoot up to the front runners, can get by very easily at the end. Top total pace horse is that rail horse. Maybe he can overcome the poor post position. Terry, you believe he will. The win is practically his.
That's right. I like Practically Mine. He finished in the money in 4 races out of the last 5 starts. Finished his second versus Simmer in the last race, and his best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Humble Joe, the 2 horse, is my second choice. Ran second versus Simmer in his last race. Switches high percentage winning trainer. 4, the Rory's Orchard, is my third choice. He finished third in his last race. Can improve at this longer distance. And then the 6 is my long shot, is a closer. So the longer distance offers hope for improvement, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. No bets for me except for our normal bets, which is $2 to win on our first choice, a $1 exacta box with our first 2 choices, a 50-cent trifecta box with our first 3 choices, and a 10-cent superfecta box with our first 4 picks.
Indeed. Maybe I'm just nuts here, Terry, but the 7 horse right now is my top pick. Right now, he's the longest shot on the board. All right. Well, what am I thinking to take the longest shot on the board? We're just looking at all these horses, rewinding back to here, right?
Yeah.
You have all these horses that have never been close. I feel like the 7 one is really the only horse in the field with reasons to improve today. Second, Lasix, got all that early speed and then faded in its last race. It's a second start after a layoff and has a workout between races. So maybe all the other ones have been proven to be bad. Maybe they have reasons to improve. Practically Mine is the top last race speed figure, a handful of points clear of the next closest horse. Did run at this level last out, just missed. But as you know, Terry, I'm just not a fan of that Penn to Parx angle. But still made it second. That tells you what I think about the rest of the crew, because usually I just X those out and move on.
Yeah.
Number 2, Humble Joy. If he can return to the race that he ran just 2 races ago on February the 28th, he's probably the winner. And right now, that's what the folks on the ground believe, because it's tied with the 1 horse as your favorite, both at 2-1. And then finally, I have the Quattro myself, and here's my 4th choice, Rory's Orchard. All of the race internals were better from beginning to end last time, despite going extremely wide in the comments. I'm not a big fan of the extremely wide races. Our friend Umet in race number 1 says 2, 1, 4, 3 in an ice cold superfecta. Terry, you got the cojones to make an ice cold superfecta play?
Yeah, it looks good.
You're gonna go with yours too? Ice cold 1, 2, 4, 6.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, Melvin. How are you today? Good to see you again. I'm sure we'll see your pick 5 momentarily. So when you see Melvin's pick 5 on the board, make sure you hit that screenshot button or rewind back to this portion of the show. When it's over, we will put the timestamp for every single race in the comment section, so you can return and go race by race as the day develops. Terry, let's talk about race number 2, because that's what's next.
That's right. Number 2 is a 6 furlong race, a $10,000 claiming race. It's for 4-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since January 1st. Claiming races for 8,000 or less are not considered, or which have never won 4 races.
So Luis Sanchez saying in the first race, it's a heist, the 3 horse, Terry. You're getting a steal on that one. Going back to the first race, and then number 3 was, who's number 3, Terry? Let's go back to that one. The number 3 horse being Rolling Deep. It's a heist to get that one, he says. All right, we'll see if he's indeed right about that one, right? Is a steal,
Yep.
Yes, indeed. All right, so race number 2, again, we talked a little bit about the conditions, that 6 furlong stuff, right, Terry?
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the speed figure for par here is 88. 6 furlongs favors tactical speed. Mr. Terry, you out of approximately 1 out of 3 horses do go wire to wire, but still being forwardly positioned is the place to be. Very strong rail for Ashad 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, there's a discount. 8 and out, a smaller discount than the middle horses. So a little bit of inside or a little bit of outside speed. A barbell race, Terry, in race number 2. And looks like once again, we find one that's a little bit quicker than the rest, although most have a chance.
Yeah, all but the 1 and 2 show some kind of speed, but that 5 horse has lots of speed according to the data. And then the overlay is the 4 has an overlay from about 7 to 5 to 7 to 2, and the 5 has an overlay about 6 to 5 to 3 to 1. The 4 and the 5 have the only 2 par plus numbers, but all of them have C zone numbers, and a lot of them are pretty good.
So Race Masters, Parx picks best bets, race 5 to 3, Party at Sam's, race 9 to 6, Betsy is the girl. Umet, race 2, the 6 is his pick of the day, Partsy. So pay attention to that one, folks. And then screenshot that. 6-1 Aka. Does that mean like a double or an exact? I'm not sure what that means. Exactly, yeah, it just probably means that. Alexandro Zofartino Into. Excellent program. The first Parx Racing meetings greeted, made in Venezuela. I was made in Evanston, Illinois, I think, or Chicago, somewhere there. All right, race 2, our race shape. 3 horses on the front. These 3 right here have some versatility. The 2 horse being a lone closer. The 5 is a lone EP. So you got the 5 and the 2, the Sesame Street horses, unlike anybody else. Of the speedsters, hey, that bet of the day, Partsy, is the speed of the speed. Mr. Terry, we will have a little bit of work to get inside the 5 there. Going to have to find some late legs, though, because he's incredible. The EP type rests right behind the 3 or the 6 as they set the tone. And along with Liberty Star, the other PC horse has the most late speed, about a length quicker than everybody else. So just on that surface, it looks like the 5 sits in second or third, sits behind the speed. It hits the Jets coming home. That does make it the top total pace horse by 6 points, Terry, over Partsy. And you don't have the 5 or the 6 on the top of your ticket. You went somewhere else.
Well, I have the 2, My Devil's Child. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, and he checked on the turn, so it really bothered him. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then the 5, He's Incredible, likes park racing. He's finished in the money 68% of the races during his runs here and won 41% of those starts. The distance won't bother him as he's finishing the money 65% of the time, winning 40% of those. Liberty Star, my 3rd pick, number 4, he won his last race at Parx Racing, and he has finished in the money in 50% of the time at today's distance. Mism Man, the 7 is my long shot, won his last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer. And for Don Johnson, here's my pick 4. I'm going to use the 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the 1, 2, 5, 6 with the 1, 2, 4, 6 with the 1, 3. The cost is $40.
I'm going to begin with the 5 horse. This one is he's incredible. 3 consecutive speed figure increases. I like that. That culminated in the top last race speed figure, 6 points clear of the next closest horse. I like that too. Top total pace horse, 6 points. Should get the perfect trip as we saw in the race shape, and cutting back in distance is going to be helpful. The 6 horse, Umet's pick of the day, is my 2nd choice. Biggest class dropper in this race with some solid workouts in between starts, so should be more fit today. My Devil's Child ran a Z pattern in its last race where the early pace was here, a little bit of a rest in the middle part of the race, and then found its 2nd win coming down the stretch. Did finish 3rd against my top pick last out, but had to check into turn, which may have compromised his chances. Then finally, Liberty Star, the 4 horse, was a really tough call for me over the 1 horse, Ashad, but has been more consistent. My Miami Vice, pick 4. I'm going to single the 5 here, Terry. The next race, I think you can pick any horse and still be wrong. So I'm going to go all with the 1, 4, and then I'm going to close it out with the 1, 3, and 4. So 5, all, 1, 4, 1, 3, 4, using those big words like all.
Okay.
And let's see, we do have our pick 5 right here from Melvin. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5, 2, 5, and then 1, 2. So keep an eye on all that. Screenshot that. Race Masters, I quit drinking lime and water now. Probably not a bad idea. I don't know about the lime and water, but just made. You like lemon and water, lime and water, Terry? How would you?
I like plain water. Just plain.
I drink water and I get nauseous.
Really?
Yeah, it's and I always tell myself, because I drink too much stuff with caffeine in it, that I got to stop. And so I start drinking water, and it's been that way my whole life. I can have like one glass of water, but if I have it on an empty stomach, I always get nauseous. I have to eat, and I do it with like food. And I read that it's not uncommon. There are other people like that. I thought that I was weird, but I mean, I am weird, but in that respect, weird. Race number 3, Terry. What are we doing?
All right. Well, we're going to stretch out again to a mile and 70 yards. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $21,000 for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races.
And again, the third race will look like the first race, as they're both a mile and 70 yards. So keep an eye on that muddy track to see what sort of bias we get. Is it early speed? Is it outside horses? But so far, notwithstanding today's conditions, 42% have gone wire to wire. The rail has been bad for 11 months later. 2-3 get a bonus. 4-7 get discounted. 8 and out is kind of fair. Terry, tell us all about our 10,000 simulations once again.
Okay, well, all of them but the 6 show some kind of speed, but that 4 shows quite a bit according to the data. So it should get to that quarter pole first. The 1 has a small overlay of 2.5 to 1 to 3 to 1. 2 has an overlay from about 2.5 to 1 to 5 to 1. And the 5 has a very small overlay from 3.5 to 4 to 1. The 6, 5, and 1 show par plus numbers, but they're not real huge. All but the 4 show some kind of a C-zone.
You and Umet are in agreement right now on Amalfi Lady, but we'll talk about that in a minute, Mr. Terry. We'll talk about the trip handicapping here. Well, everybody wants to be middle back, Terry. Once again, indication that if you get to the front, you probably got a good shot to win this race. And Moonlight in Heaven, it's a little bit quicker than everybody else by about a length and a half. Certainly looks like it has its issues at the end of the race with that late speed number. But reaching stride does not, although should be way off the pace in this group. So Istria of the horses that are up front, along with that 2-horse Amalfi Lady, should have a positional advantage over some of the rest in here. And they do grade out as your top 2. But look at these 4 right in here, Terry. The 1, 2, 3, and 5, they have the top 4 total pace numbers, well ahead of the 6 and the 4. Very strong probability that quartet has the winner in it. And you and Umet think it belongs to El Número Dos.
That's right. Like a Amalfi Lady, number 2 horse, she finished 3rd versus Similar. Her last race has the highest last speed rating. Reaching stride, the 6 is my second choice. She came in from Penn National Parx Racing, and she has the best start speed among today's starters. 11 months later, the 1 is my third choice. She won her last race at Parx Racing, and her early running style helps her chances. And then the 5 is my long shot. She has a high percentage winning trainer. This trainer wins 17% of the claiming races he has a horse competing in, and he has a highest speed figure at today's distance. Just the normal bets for me in this race.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 5. How you doing? 7 Pretty Haija Mules in race number 1, maybe? All right, race number 3. Yeah, that's the one I have a 7, a long shot in there. I'm going to go with the 5 horse again. I guess I'm going to be on these 5 horses until they finally start winning for me, Terry. This horse has the most back class. If she can find it today on the muddy track, find that back class is your winner. If not, Amalfi Lady, Terry's pick and Umet's pick. Right distance, 6 times out, 2 wins, 2 seconds. Key is being close early. When this horse is close early, it runs its best. Today, it should be close early. Number 6, Reaching Stride. A little bit of the morning line favorite in here. Is your only class dropper in the field, Terry. But is it really a class drop when it comes in from Penn? Maybe the best sloppy runner. So I don't know how to work my way through all those conflicting points. And then finally, Moonlight in Heaven. I would expect every night is lit with Moonlight in Heaven. Maybe just a little bit too much early speed in a race. Everybody wants to be middle back. So if Moonlight in Heaven can get forward, I would have loved to see a strong C-zone there. But if it can get forward, who knows? Maybe hangs on if the track has an absolute speed bias in the mud today. Game in Chojo for Milagros Fernandez. So the miracle that is Fernandez. All right, so race number 1. Terry, I think they're about to get cooking. They're in the gates right now, waiting for the tones of Jessica Paquette. As the new week of racing for me and you, Terry, is about to get going in muddy Monday morning at Parx. The 1 and the 2 are co-favorites at 2-1. Then the 4 at 4-1. The 3 at 6-1. The 6 at 7-1. And I am on the 7 horse at 14-1. So there's some numerology in that, Terry. It's the 7 horse at 14-1. It's got to mean something. Twice the post position.
Yeah.
2 horses for the price of 1. So it looks like they're waiting for they've made it to the 3 horse. So the 4 is going in now. The 5 is about to make its way into the gates. The 6 is in the gate without a problem. And I don't see the 7 in the picture anywhere as of yet. And here he comes. Going to go in too. It doesn't look like he's going to go in with too much of an issue. Yep, he's all in and ready to rock and roll. Just waiting for the assistant starter to get up into the gate with the 7 horse. And they're off and running, and pretty clean break. The 7 kind of broke out a little bit, so could impede his lane to the front, but not really, Terry. You got a pretty easy lead there, Terry. The 2 horse pulling up in second down there on the rail as they make their way through the turn. So the 15-1 shot on top, the 2 horse, the favorite, sitting there comfortably in second, going to make that 7 run 2 wide all the way around the track. And then they're all kind of bunched up after that, Terry. The 5 horse in the back of the pack with Praline Pop's bottle. They went through the opening quarter in a pedestrian 25 seconds, Mr. Terry. So really no excuses for the horses up front not to kind of remain up front. The 2 horse continues to travel along in second. The 3 is in third. The 4 is going to try to go around the track all the way wide. 7 horse continues to be the lead. The 1 horse, your pick, Terry, on the rail, trying to move his way up. They ran a slow second half. They actually went slower in the second half than they did in the first half. 50.1 seconds. They coming through the turn. Looks right now like the 7 horse is continuing to hold the lead. The 4 horses, they're out on the 4 horse. The only one with maybe a chance to catch some of these front runners is the 1 horse, Terry. But I don't know. The 4 horse is trying to make ground up. The 7 hasn't really been asked to go. Looks to me like it's the 7 horses race to win, my friend. We'll see if they make their way down the stretch here. It's pulling away. Terry, it looks to me like the 7 horse is going to go off as your 15-1 winner this morning to get things started, although they are trying to catch up with this one, Terry, down the stretch here. Here comes the 1. Is he going to clip him at the end? I don't know. I don't think so. It's going to go 7, then 4, then 1, and then 2. 7, 4, 1, and 2 in the opener at Parx. Nice
handicapping, Rich.
Yeah, it's the proverbial sun and the clock being broken kind of stuff in there. To me, Terry, it was, if we go back to this part here where everybody in race number 1, anybody was never close, right? And then the 1 and the 4, and if we open up the paperwork again for race number 1, I just didn't. So I go through and look at the speed figure. Yeah, the 1 had a shot, but again, the Penn Shipper, I'm not a fan of those guys at all, Terry. Ever and never have been. The 2 had a shot too, but maiden claiming 10. He's run 11 times, so you kind of know what that horse is. And there's really not a whole lot of variance in his game. So maybe 72 is his max. The 3 horse was one that I thought could have a chance, but these numbers down here were pretty bad. Ran in claiming 10, and if he couldn't run for Jamie Ness, how's he going to run for anybody else? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the 5 horse, maybe, but again, just nowhere near, always in a pretty tight range, seems to have a max out there. So coming down to the 7 horse, it was the only one, really. The first race was terrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went to the sidelines, came back after a break, showed some speed early on and faded. And it's the only one that you can say, well, maybe there's a reason for this horse to get better. And that was just a pure maybe this one can get better, and just got lucky, so to speak.
Yeah, nice. So,
all right, let's see if we can be nice in race number 4, Mr. Terry. What's cooking in that one?
All right, in this race number 4 now, we're going to go to 7 furlongs. It's a maiden race, 50,000 K, $50,000 purse for maidens, fillies, 3-year-olds.
And at 7 furlongs, the speed figure you're looking for here at this condition, Terry, is 79 being the par number. And our 7 furlong profile of a winner tells us we're looking for a horse, Terry, that stalks. It's probably the position where speed is the least important at Parx. Only 11% go wire to wire. The rail, Noisy on the Bay, is fair. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 and out are discounted. So the farther you are from the rail, the worse off you are. So that's really only impacts the 4, 5, and 6, Terry. And it looks like 3 of them are your predominant picks to be up front. And we saw speed hold in that first race.
Yeah, that's true. All of them but the 5 show some kind of speed. 4, 2, and 1 have the most speed. Really anybody's guess who's going to get to that quarter pole first. The 1 and the 4 have overlays. The 1's overlay is about 4 to 5 to 5 to 2. The 4's overlay is about 8 to 5 to 3 to 1. None of them show any kind of par plus numbers. And all but the 2 is the only one that has a C zone.
And then let's see. Congratulations to all my followers straight from the U.S. We thank you. I guess we're followers too, Terry. Julie, no problem. It's the stuff that we try to do is try to share with us. Terry, you've been at this game for how long?
Over 60 years.
Oh my God, longer than I've been alive.
Yep.
Barely, and then I've been at the game, I don't know, I'd say I'm 57 years old, so probably 40 years. So between the two of us, we have 100 years of experience.
Yep.
Seen a whole lot of stuff. And I think more importantly, we know what doesn't work, and we're still trying to figure out what does work. I think you said
that's
that's
true,
fair,
yeah.
Terry. All right. So as far as our trip handicapping for the 4th race is concerned, 6 Silver Sunshine. No idea what that one's going to bring to the table. Again, you got the 3 and the 5 so far showing not much. The 4 wants to close, Eclair Blanc. The 1 and the 2 pressure type horses. Interestingly, that closer, Terry, Eclair Blanc, is your fastest horse out of the gate according to recent pace. So we call those left arrow horses that typically close with enough early speed to be in contention today, and they still have that inclination to run harder at the end. In the end, the ones that will be running the hardest are Noisy Bay and Nezzy's Girl. So the 2 pressure horses are going to act like closers, and the closer is going to act like a speed horse. So you could be kind of confused by the time this race comes to a close. And then your top total pace horse is Noisy on the Bay, about a length better than Nezzy's Girl and Eclair Blanc, and then a kind of a drop off from there. So maybe a 1, 2, 4. And since you don't know what the 6 is going to bring, 1, 2, 4, 6 is an exact trifecta box, Terry, and it's exactly what we landed on, just in a little bit different order.
Yeah, I like Nezzy's Girl, the 2. She ran second her last race after steadying early and rushing up. And then her last workout, furlong workout, was a bullet workout. Number 1, Noisy on the Bay is my second choice, has the highest last speed rating. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Silver of Sunshine, the 6, is a first-time starter whose high percentage winning trainer wins 17% of the maiden special weight claiming races that she has a horse competing in, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. Eclair Blanc, the 4, is my long shot, drops in class today, has a trainer, wins 19% of the races when using Lasix for the second time, and she can improve maybe at the sprint. I'm going to play the Don Johnson pick 4, 1, 2, 4, 6 with the 1, 3, with the 1, 2, 4, 6 with the 5, 8, 9. Cost is $48.
Yeah, this one in the middle, I agree with you, Terry. Trying to eliminate horses was no easy task. I have the 1 horse is my favorite in here, Noisy on the Bay. All of those race internals were better last out, and a good chance to be better in the second start after a layoff. This one's been on the off track a couple of times, and in both of those races, Terry finished in the money. And what I mean by better across the board, if you're new, you'll see here that all these early pace numbers, the mid pace number and the late pace number, this group here was higher than this group here all the way across the board. That's almost always a sign of a horse that's in better shape. Now it's going to make a second start with that maintenance workout in the middle. I expect a better horse today. The 4 horse Eclair Blanc is a class dropper, going to run back to its January 24th win on the lead, Terry. I mean, January 24th race. None of these have won yet. And if he does, he wins. The left arrow horse. Number 6, Sliver of Sunshine. Of course, I left your top pick off my pick for Terry, which is inevitably going to bite me in the behind. But this one is a first-time starter, and quite honestly, outside of maybe the 1, 2, and 4, I don't think it really has anything to beat. The 2-horse, the reason I downgraded this one a little bit, Terry, is because it is moving up in class. Although the last race was better than it looked, after the horse steadied at the start, it rushed up into contention. But at the end, it didn't really fade that badly. And a lot of times you see horses that kind of miss the start and hustle to get back into the mix, which I think is a big mistake. More often than not, those horses, they hit the wall probably about a 16th or an 1/8 of a mile before the finish line and just stop. So the fact that this one didn't, I think, is an indication of a horse that has some heart. Race number 5, Terry, is where we're going to go to our next stop as we touch on the 2 races in the middle of the card.
That's right. We're going to drop to 6 furlongs. It's an optional claiming race, $25,000 claiming price. If you elect to put your horse in there to maybe be claimed, purse $28,000 for 3-year-olds and upward, which have started for $25,000 or less, and which have never won 2 races, or claiming price $25,000, and which have never won 2 races. I have no idea why they say that twice, but they do.
It's Philly. You have to reiterate. If you've ever been there, you'd understand. Just kidding to all my family and friends who live in Philadelphia. I mean, Philadelphia. All right, race number 5, Terry, our race profile of a winner for 6 furlongs, as we talked about before. Stalkers should usually do pretty good. You want to be in the front half. If you're on the lead, you still win about a third of the time. Very strong rail for Tatum. Of course, he's a Boston Celtic and not a 76er. 2 and 3, play fair. 4 and 7, a little bit of a discount. 8 and out, a smaller discount than the middle horses. So always speed is an important factor, Terry. We saw in the opener speed hold up, and if speed holds up in race number 5, a pick of the day. As we saw earlier in the day, could get to the lead and not give it up.
That's right. That 3 shows the most speed, although the 1 might have something to say about it. 1 has a small overlay from 5 to 2 to 3 to 1, and the 3 has an overlay from even money to 2 to 1. The 3 shows the only par plus number, and all but the 7 show pretty darn decent C zones.
Yes, indeed. And then our trip handicapping for the middle part of the card, balanced race, 1, 2, 3. All the inside horses want to be up front. 4, 5, and 7. All the outside horses minus the 6 want to be closing, and the 6 in the middle. So they really should line up in that order. As the gates open, let's see who does have the most early speed. Party at Sam's is about a length quicker than the 1 and the 2, both of which are fast. So the 1 and 2 and the 3, they can really get after it, especially if the 3 tries to clear with ease. And if so, could make the pace a little bit hot early on. Could open it up for a horse that wants to stock and have a little bit of late speed, which is the preferred running style there. That would belong to Private Cabana. A little bit faster than Party at Sam's, but not a whole lot. Not a whole lot quicker than Tatum either, or Hot Love. Really not a whole lot quicker than most of the horses in this race. So the early pace is going to be key. If the early pace is not out of order, Party at Sam's could live up to our good friend Race Masters bet of the day. Party at Sam's, Terry, are you going to join him as a bet of the day candidate?
Well, yeah. I mean, I have a bet of the day a little later on, but I like this horse, the 3. Party at Sam's, finished in the money in his last 6 races and finished second in his last race. He switched to a high percentage winning jockey, and he has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Lots of those boxes checked off. And then the 1 Tatum ran second versus similar in his last race. The rail post is winning 24% clip, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters, along with the 3. They're tied. The 5 is my 3rd pick, Renegade Serenade. Finished 3rd versus similar in his last race. Can improve while returning to a sprint. 7 is my long shot, Hot Love. Finished 3rd versus similar in his last race and has the highest last speed rating. Just the normal bets for me in here.
So, you know, here we call Terry Hollywood Hay, but in high school they called him Terry Hot Love Hay. See the humor, right? It's got to have some truth in it to be funny. So Terry laughing there, agreement. Party at Sam's is my top choice too. So that's a trifecta on the 3 horse, 3 on the 3. That can't be good news, folks. But this one might be just a little bit too fast for everybody when the gates get open. And you saw that the late pace is on par with everybody else. does have that top total pace advantage over everybody. The only question is this one's moving up in class as your lone par plus horse. Tatum, the one horse. Terry and I are in agreement on the exacta. This one is making the classic handicapping angle of the third start after a layoff again. Another one of those horses with all of the race internals improving last out and confirming that or complementing it, whichever way you want to look at it. The fractions were better too. This one's a fan of the distance, although he likes to finish second 7 times out, 1 win, 5 seconds on that strong rail. So he likes to finish second. By golly, we'll put him where he wants to be. Number 2, Ferrari Kid. This one is a class dropper to the lowest level of its career and a chance to improve in its second start after a layoff, along with the top C-zone score. So it should be the most comfortable with the way this race takes shape. Finally, Renegade Serenade, also running at her lowest level of her career. And this one's coming off the bench, a little bit of a rest, so maybe some fresh legs work to its advantage, although the first up record wasn't all that inspiring. Again, just our normal bets here, Terry. $2 to win, exacta, and then along with the trifecta and superfecta for the minimum amount of money allowable. The other half of the middle of the card, Terry, is race number 6.
That's right. And we're going to drop down to 6 furlongs. Another optional claiming race is $25,000 claiming price. First, $26,000 for fillies and mares 4-year-olds and upward, which have started for $16,000 or which have never won 3 races, or a claiming price of $25,000, and again, which have never won 3 races.
By the way, if you're new to the show, if you're watching on Twitter, we appreciate that kindly. While you're doing it right now, do us a big favor, grab your mouse, put the cursor over the retweet and click it. Just like that, you can help the show a ton. We'd appreciate that. And if you bet the 7 in the opening race, or you bet that superfecta that paid $55 for a dime, a click of the mouse would be greatly appreciated. Also, follow us on all of our social sites. You see them scrolling down there below. Our great friend, Swiss Army Sean, puts a lot of good content out on Horse Race, the number 2 day. That's on X, that's on Facebook, that's on Instagram, that's on TikTok and everywhere else. Of course, I'm at HRT Rich on Twitter. And Terry, he's got to make his site because as soon as he does, he'll become the most popular of all of us. Terry. Again, at 6 furlongs, we're looking for tactical speed, about a third go wire to wire. You know, it's good to understand the profile of a winner. It gives you a kind of a sense of what horses to look at. The rail is strong for Denali Ray. 2 and 3 are fair. Again, 4 through 7, a little bit of a discount. 8 and out, discounted, but not as badly as 4 through 7. Terry, take us through the numbers and let us know who's going to have the lead here.
Well, you can see that most of these have some kind of speed, but that one shows the most speed. If it can get out of that gate, it's going to have a good time getting to that quarter pole. And the 2 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 4 to 1. The 2 has the best par plus number, and all but the 7 shows some kind of a C zone, although the 2 is a little bit low.
Again, our pace setup for this race. All these horses want to be on the front, a couple of closers. Speed of the speed, Terry. Otherwise, look out. The rest of the field could be in trouble. Valiant Majesty and Arlene's Crown, they are the speed of the speed. The 2's to the inside, so it could get the edge there. As far as your late speed is concerned, 88 keys, the 7 horse. It's good. You know, it's a speed horse that wants to be up front, that wants to close. So that's a right arrow horse. And I can't suspect that horses that want to be on the front are all that happy being not on the front. It does grade out well as a top total pace horse, tied with a bunch of others in here. The 1, 2, 3, and 7, they have the best numbers total pace. 73% of the time. That crew has the winner in it, Terry. I didn't take one from that crew. I think you did.
Yeah, I like in this race Denali Ray, the 1, finished 3rd versus similar in her last race. This rail post is winning at 24% clip, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Valiant Majesty, the 2, has finished in the money in her last 4 races at Parx Racing, winning one of those starts, and she has a high percentage winning, highest speed figure at today's distance, and she has her best dirt speed among today's starters. She, number 4, A Year to Remember, is my 3rd choice. She won her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer jockey. And then the 6 is my long shot, ran 2nd versus similar in her last race, only lost by a nose at 6.5 furlongs. So now she cuts back to 6 furlongs, which should help, and has the highest last speed rating and has a high percentage winning trainer. Just the normal bets for me here.
And Boss Bigga says the 6 horse, Arlene's Crown. It's his best bet. So your long shot, Terry, is the boss's best bet.
All
And
right.
then I'm going to start with that 6 horse too. Maybe I saw the same thing the boss did, but maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. I felt like when I was going through the past performances and I saw that 6-1 morning line, I'm like, this one should be the favorite. But it doesn't look like that in our sim odds either. This one ran at this level last time out, and it just missed by a nose. I noticed in my comments at the end of the day when I copy and paste them in to the winners sheet that just missed at this level last out is one that reoccurs a lot for winners. Third start after a layoff, that's always a positive too. Should be more fit. Top last race speed figure last time out. I like that too. And does have a workout between races. So all the indicators are that this horse is the most fit, top form, just missed. So you and I, boss, will probably be watching the horse finish beat just by that much by Terry's 1 or the 2. Valiant Majesty should be out front today. And then moving up in class has fared well on and off track, Terry, 2 times out in a couple of seconds. So should fit the track conditions, the track bias, as well as its running style. Denali Ray, the 1 horse, Terry, quicker fractions last out. Another one where cutting back in distance should help. And this is another one that likes the mud. And then finally, a year to remember. That's what we're hoping 2024 will be, Terry. This one's almost always very competitive for the win at the end. And the last time and the only time this horse made its way onto a wet track, it ended up in Terry's favorite place, the winner's circle.
Yep.
For Tom, it's the winner's enclosure down there in Australia and so forth. Yeah, I don't think we're getting 6-1 either, I promise. Hopefully we get 10-1, but I don't think we're going to get that either. It's going to go down. Does anyone know where they spend the Philadelphia Parx races live? So the best way to do that is to open an account. I don't know where in the world you are, Jacob Ruiz. I'm going to guess somewhere in South or Central America. The best way is probably to open up an account in like William Hill or Bet Us. There's another one that's in Australia. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, something.ag. They all allow you to open accounts. If you have Bitcoin, sometimes you can deposit Bitcoin or some of those digital currencies. And then once you have your account open, then you can watch the races live. That would be, and there's also Racing TV Network where you can watch it, but I think that's like like a $10 a month fee or something like that, Terry.
Yeah.
And I don't know what their policy is on international accounts. How long do we have to the second race, Terry? 5 minutes, 4 minutes?
4 or 5 minutes.
That's plenty of time for you and I to get started with the first leg of the last pick 4, Terry, and that is race number 7.
We're going to shorten up to 5.5 furlongs. It's a maiden $40,000 purse for registered Pennsylvania bred maidens.
And those registered Pennsylvania bred maidens at 5.5 furlongs again better have a little bit of giddy up and go when the gates open today, because 53% of the time, and if I remember correctly from my math class, that's more than half, go wire to wire. There is an outside to in bias, which is really weird for a short sprint. Usually the horses on the inside, especially if they got speed, have the edge. But no, this is the time where you want to be outside. As a matter of fact, the rail, Mikey Song, hasn't won yet in about 15, 16 races. So a big discount perhaps for Mikey Song, a major task in front of it, Terry. So speed is going to be a big factor in this race, Terry, particularly if it's on the outside, and looks like most of it is middle out.
Yeah, well, the 5, 7, and 8 show the most speed, and it's anybody's guess who's going to get that quarter pole first. The 8 has an overlay from about 6 to 5 to 7 to 2, and the 9 has an overlay from 2.5 to 1, or a little better than 2.5 to 1 to 6 to 1. The 6, excuse me, the outside horses, there's about 6 of them that have showed par numbers, and then all of these horses show some kind of C zone, although the 9's very, very low.
So the par number, just to kind of go over that again, 60.1% in our 61% chance in our 10,000 simulations, where we simulate what the projected speed figure would be. And then you see that 61% of the time that horse runs a number of 61 or better. Again, not a lot of these horses don't have a full slate of races under their past performances. So a little bit of margin for error in those numbers, Terry. Also a little bit, whenever you're looking at the horses that haven't won, always a little bit of error in there. 4 and 6, you got to kind of factor that into your art/science of handicapping. I'm a Lucky Girl and Goddess of Fortune. I guess if you're a lucky girl, you are the Goddess of Fortune, Terry. Those two making their first starts today. The 2 and the 7, Little Lamb Chop and Udisi. Those two have not been close with the end, but the 7 horse does have some juice, so maybe. The 9 horse wants to close. The 5 and the 8 have shown some versatility. These two want to pressure. So maybe the 5 and the 8, Terry, if they can get good trips, could be horses to consider. Combat Hoofs might be one of those that does get a good trip up front, although that 8 horse is right there too with some strong early speed. And then that late speed belongs to Don't Pass the Princess. That's probably not a good idea. But that 8 horse right there again with that early tempo and strong late speed. Our top total pace horses in these maiden races are the 8, the 5, the 9. A little bit of a gap over that NC type with a little bit of early speed, Terry. And of course, you don't know what these two are going to bring to the table. I know what you're going to bring to the table. The 9 horse as your winner.
Yeah, I like that 9, Don't Pass the Princess. She finished 3rd versus similar in her only start and has a high percentage winning trainer whose horses she trains win 50% of the races in the second career race a horse has. Then the 8 is my second choice, ran 2nd versus similar in her only start. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Combat Hoofs, the 5 is my 3rd choice, ran 2nd versus similar in her only start, and has a trainer who wins 24% of the maiden special weight races he has a horse competing in. And she has a bullet workout on March 26. Mikey's Song, the 1 is my long shot. She finished 3rd in her last race. The shorter distance can help, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. I'm going to play my last pick 4. I'm going to use the 1, 5, 8, 9 with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 with the 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. And I'm going to single the 1 in the last leg. That's a $50 ticket.
Terry and I agree on 1 horse, the 8. Everything else up for grabs. I'm going to go with the 8 horse. The one we agree on, Terry, is my top pick in here. So that one is Let the Raw. Just missed at this level out again. I see that in my notes all the time. Does have a maintenance workout between races and should be in the mix early with some good late speed. Sunny Side Up. You like your eggs like that, Terry? I can't. I can't eat them.
No, I don't like them that way.
This one should benefit from a cutback in distance. And that March 13th work, real quick here, Terry, before this next race gets going. That 47 and 3, that's a pretty good number. It's faster than what the horse really runs in the actual race. That is a Barry Meadows special, 15% angle. Number 7, Udisi, Speed and Fade, which should improve for horse in the second career start. Horse was also well bet, and I would have liked to see a workout between races. And finally, the 4, I'm a Lucky Girl. I think this is the best of the first-time starters. We'll find out when the race gets cooking. Tough call for me over the 9, to be honest, Terry. I'm going to go 3, 4, 7, 8, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5 on the 1, 6, 7 in our late pick 4. Let's see what's cooking in race number 2, Terry, as I think they're probably getting ready to run. No, they're still kind of walking around a bit. So they're on South Florida time in Bensalem, Pennsylvania today. So that will allow us to tell you again, head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet for today's free track of the day, that being Mahoning Valley. There's a link down in the description below. Kindly use that so they know where it is that you're coming from. Amigos Affair, top pick in that opening race at 11:55 p.m. So that race is probably done already, right, Terry?
It is, yes. The 3 actually won that race.
And then who came in second?
I think the 1 did, but I can check real quick if you want.
Yeah, we have a minute there because they're still kind of moseying around to get to the gates over there.
Yeah, it was. Wait a minute. No, it was won by the 1, and the 3 came in second.
1, 3.
1, 3, and then the 4 was third.
So the top 3 combining for an exacta in there. Did the 2 by chance run 4th?
They don't have a superfecta, so they don't tell me.
So you have your trifecta right there. That'll work. Race number 2. They probably haven't started yet. 12:21. Yeah, in about another 11 minutes. So
50-cent trifecta paid $13.45, and
that's not bad.
No, and the $2 exacta paid $23. So
that ain't bad either, my friend. I'll take that all day long. Where else can you take $2, a $6 bet, and almost quadruple your money in about, 6 furlongs a minute in 10, 11, 12 seconds?
That's right. I don't know where else you could do that at.
No. Well, maybe the stock market these days is they're playing with bingo money.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what's cooking here. They're waiting for the 5-horse is indeed your favorite here in race number 2, Terry. I hope it wins, because if it doesn't, my pick 4 is shot in the foot. And I always like to have a pick 4 alive when I have an all leg in there somewhere. The next closest pick is the 2-horse at 7-2. Then the 4-horse, that one is 4-1. Then you have the 6 at 7-1, and the 9, and the outside horse to that is 9-1. The 3-horse is your longest shot in case they go long shot today to get started at Parx. Both of us certainly hope that's not the case. Waiting for Jessica Paquette to say it's okay to race, and we'll be good to go.
All right.
And I think they're all in there. They're off and running, and a pretty clean break for everybody in here. It does look like the 6-horse and the 5-horse have emerged as your front runners. The 5-horse, the one that we projected to be up on the lead, is indeed on the lead. The 6-horse right to its outside. The 3 on the rail. The 4-horse Liberty Star, the other one we thought might have a chance, didn't get the kind of break it's looking for, so it's going to have a different trip than usual. The 1-horse right now sitting in 4th. You got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lengths from the nose of the 5 to the tail of the 4, separating the field as they go through the opening quarter. Probably a little faster than I would want them to go. 22-2 with the 5-horse is my only pick so far. They haven't asked the 5 or the 6 to run, although the 6-horse has decided it wants to get up involved in this race. And that one, Terry, I think is going to run by the 5-horse here at the end and win the race, to be honest with you. I don't know, because they're making the turn there. The 6-horse has kind of gone wide. The 5-horse is going out to try to hurt him a little bit. Not hurt him, but hurt him as in a herd of horses. But the 6-horse here, Terry, is moving up alongside. He has passed the, I don't know, the 5-horse looks like it wants to come back, but it looks like it's going to go 6, 4, 1, 5, 6, 4, 1, and 5. Always my second horse in there, Terry. And I think someone told us that was their best bet of the day, too, the 6-horse, right?
Yeah, I think somebody did.
Indeed. Someone did tell us that. And I should have gone too deep right there, Terry. But fortunately for you, you have the 6-horse in there at 8-1 to start your pick 4. So I hope for you it goes all the way through, my friend.
So do I. That's pretty nice. So, But you're going to have a nice double with that 6 too, and that was your second choice. So,
I was thinking about it because I had the money to do, to go 5, 6 there.
Yeah.
Well, hindsight's always 20/20, right, my friend?
That's right.
Kirby got a runner in Parx race number 2. Kirby, which one was that one? How did you do? The 6-horse, who had that 6-horse in there, Terry? Is there top? Was that Umed who had that as his top pick?
Let me see.
His bet of the day?
I'm looking.
I think it was. I remember someone pointing that out. I had the 6-1 exacta. There you go, Umed. Coming home a big winner on that one. So it's a day of long shots, folks. Let's keep this streak of long shots alive.
Yeah, that was Umat's pick of the day, the 6.
Yes, and he had the 6-1 exacta. And just to give you an idea,
$10 exacta.
The 6-1 exacta is going to pay $61.
Well, he had it $10 on it, so it's
$610.
All right, good.
Well, but the 4 got second, Terry, unfortunately.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, that's what they're posting right now. So just put that 6 on top as a winner, and you come out all right, though, Terry, as a best bet. I wish I had that one in. I should have put that one in there, Terry, in my pick 4. I wish I did. But, I'm okay with my second pick winning.
Yeah.
Not if I didn't put him in my bet, though. Then I'm not as pleased at all. All right, let's go off to race number 8, Terry, and hopefully you can make it all the way through your pick 4 today on that one.
Be nice.
In race number, what are we doing? Race number 8, right?
Yeah, and it's a 6 furlong race, claiming $50,000 claiming price, $38,000 purse for fillies, 3-year-olds, or fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
And at 6 furlongs on that surface, Terry, what we're looking for are horses, again, with tactical speed, about a third go wire to wire. There is a strong rail bias for 'tis race day. Indeed it is. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and 7 discounted. 8 and out discounted, but not as much as the 3 or 4 to their inside, Terry. So inside or outside speed in race number 8. There aren't any outside horses in that respect, and the speed is in the middle.
That's right. If you look here, you're going to see that that 4 has all the speed in the world. Although the 2 and the 6 have a little bit of speed. The 2 shows an overlay 2 from about 7 to 5 to 3 to 1. The 6 shows the only par plus number in here. And all but the 1 shows some pretty darn decent C zones.
Yeah, those 4 outside really should enjoy the way this race takes shape today. In race number 8, look at that, Terry. They all want to be on the front. So they all can't be on the front, unfortunately. I guess they can all sprint out of there. Midnight Wonder, Equistar, and Bloom, they're faster than the 1, 5, and 3. So maybe these 3 here you can eliminate, because if they want the lead and they can't get the lead, they could become discouraged. Although the 3-horse Bahiti does have a little bit more late speed than Bloom. That one has a little more late speed than Midnight Wonder. So it looks like of the 2 speed horses, the 2 and the 6 grade out as the best. They do and grade out as our top total pace horses. With the 3 right behind, Terry, looks like the 1 and the 5 might be the 2 that you can kind of leave off. But in this race, with everybody wanting to run the same style, I don't know that you can leave many off, Terry. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, I like that 3 Bahiti. She finished in the money in her 3 career races, winning the last start. And then the 4 is my second choice. Won her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Bloom, the 2, ran second in her last race. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. She's actually tied with another horse. She has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. She's my third choice. My long shot is the 6 Midnight Wonder. She won her last race at Penn National. Her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters, actually tied with the horse above, and has a high percentage winning trainer. No bets in here for me except for the normal bets.
I'm going to go with that speed horse, Equistar. Maybe too much speed early on for the rest of the horses in this field to run down, especially in a race where everybody wants to be forward. So speed of the speed a lot of times is the way to get the job done. Horse been off for more than a year, but the only time the horse did run on slop, it did win, and the works are pretty solid prepping. Number 2, Bloom, second at this level last out. The resume says a better effort in round 2 off the bench could be expected. Midnight Wonder, the 6-horse, Terry, lone horse to hit par at this level. That should usually be a good sign. And also the only par plus in there. We see that. But it was at Penn. Again, not the biggest fan of a Penn shipper, although it did run 2 races at Parx, and both of them I put in the OK camp. It's his race day. Does have that very strong rail advantage. Has some early speed. And you'll see on the past performances, does since its start. I mean, only ran 4 races, and you see in every race the speed figure went up. So 3 consecutive speed increases, which is a Barry Meadows alpha angle that wins at 15% or more. 2 races to go, which means we're going to start the late daily double in race number 9, and it's a distance that we're going to be familiar with today, Terry.
That's right. It's another 6 furlong race. It's an allowance race, first allowance race. $41,000 purse. It's for registered Pennsylvania fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward, which have never won a Pennsylvania restricted race other than a maiden claiming or starter.
Yeah, was there any link to see Parx races? Again, I would recommend opening up an account at like Bet Us or William Hill, some offshore account where you can open up an account no matter where you are in the world, and then you can watch the races. Or there's Racing Network TV, I think RTN. Is maybe TRN, something like that, where you can, for like $5-10 a month, you can watch races. 6 furlongs, we've talked about it a bunch. About a third go wire to wire. You want to be middle forward, preferably on the inside or the outside in race number 9, Terry. Do we have any speed inside or outside? It's in the middle.
Well, most of it's on the out, kind of at middle to the outside. The 5 and the 3 show the most speed, although all of them, except for the 1, show some kind of speed. But it's anybody's guess who's going to get there first. The 3 has an overlay from about almost 2 to 1 to 4 to 1, and the 5 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 7 to 2. The 5 has a very small par plus number. All but the 7 shows some kind of a C zone number, and they're mostly pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Our trip handicapping, 4 want to be on the front, 1 in the middle, so most of them want to be middle forward. That could give the 6-horse Betsy Gell and the 7 and the 1 an advantage, perhaps, if they can get the right trip. The 6 being the most flexible of the group. Our early speed indicates that the Goddess of Snakes could be the quickest of them all, but all in there except for Twister as horses that should be close to the front. You only got a 7-point difference from top to bottom. Horse spins its wheels in the mud, gets off to a slow start, misses the break by a beat. Could be first, could be last coming out of the gates. Late speed, Moon Boots, one of those horses that could be close to the front. Does have a little bit of advantage over the 5. Do we do it? Those two are well quicker than everybody else at the end, Terry, and they should be a part of the mix early on. I would guess that those two probably are where the winner is going to come from. They are, what is that, at least 14, 15 points better on the total pace front than everybody else.
Yeah.
Straight up 3-5 or 5-3, maybe exact the box them for a buck. Or an interesting strategy we heard before from Jonathan Stitton from Past the Wire is if you really think you got the exacta, you do a 10-cent superfecta or whatever your budget is, 3-5, 3-5, all. And if you hit the exacta, you're guaranteed to hit the superfecta. Terry, what do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I like the 5 Dewey Do It. She likes Parx Racing. Finishing in the muddy 100% of the races here, and she's won 67% of those starts. Distance won't be a problem as she's finished in the money 60% of the time, winning 20% of the starts. The 4 Twister, she tried Aqueduct and she didn't have much success, but now returns to Parx Racing where she's never finished out of the money and she's won one of those starts. Moon Boots, the 3 is my third choice, finished third versus similar in her last race, has the highest last speed rating. And then number 7, Sugar Smile, my long shot. She has the highest speed figure at today's distance and has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Again, just the normal bets that we do in each race for me here.
Well, coming off of the second best bet of the day for Umet is the 4 horse in here, Twist Her, as 12-1 morning line. So keep an eye on that. Hitting at that 6 horse, which still bums me out that I didn't put it in my pick 4, but so be it. Maybe, hopefully, other people did. I know Terry did. I have the 3 horse as my top choice in the second to last race today, being race number 9. That one, Moon Boots, did run the top last race speed figure, 7 points clear of the next closest horse. Did show better early pace last time out, and the lone time the horse had a chance to run on and off track, it won. Do we do it? Again, the 5 horse, those 2 that are clearly better than everybody else according to our top total pace number. Its best effort was on and off track. And the reason I gave the 3 the nod is because the second time off or layoff for Do We Do It is more hit than miss, but occasionally there's a miss in there. Twist Her, Umet's second best bet of the day, the 4 horse, 6 races at Parx, never ran out of the money. So either first, second, or third, always at least in the trifecta, and does have the most back class. If it can reach back into the past performances and pull some of that forward, could be 2 best bets in the day for Umet. And then finally, number 7, Sugar Smile, weight break today, so carrying a little less weight around the track. And another one of those horses with a spotty second up record. And with the 2 horse scratching out, really, I felt like the first 2 and then everybody else was just a toss up. And now maybe I have a little bit more confidence in the 4 coming off of Umet's best bet of the day, number 2. Last race of the day for you and me, Terry. Again, we'll be back tomorrow to do Parx, maybe Wednesday. We might actually have a Wednesday bonus of Parx because Gulfstream is not running. Of course, Keeneland kicks in this week as well. As I mentioned at the top, it's going to be a back-to-back wagering guide week at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. We will do our wagering guide this week for the Toyota Bluegrass Stakes at Keeneland. You're going to want to make sure you get that information. Again, there's a link in the description down below for today's free picks each and every day. Tomorrow, they're going to put a new website up, so you're going to want to go check out some exciting changes there. Race number 10, Terry, the last time today, we'll have a chance to get something right.
Yep.
What do we got to do here?
We're going to go the 7 furlong race, and then it's a maiden claiming race, $25,000 claiming price. It's a purse of $26,000 for maidens 3-year-olds.
Yes, indeed. A 7 furlong race we talked about earlier in the day being the one that's least advantageous for horses with early speed because only 11% go gate to wire. The rail is fair. So my brother Charlie, 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 and out, they get discounted. The farther you are to the outside, the worse off you are from a post position perspective. For my alliteration using piece today and didn't pop one of them, Terry. How about that? So who's going to have the lead here?
Well, let's see. It looks like to me this 2 horse is probably going to get that lead. as you can see there by the data. Although there's a couple of others that have some speed, especially the 5, and then the 7 has a small overlay from 7 to 2 to 4 to 1. None of them show any kind of par plus numbers. All but the 6 and 9 show some kind of C zones.
Our last look at race shape for today tells us 10. I don't think that one's in the race today, so we'll delete that one. We'll leave the square purple because it looks nice. 4, 5, 6, and 9, that quartet not close yet. The 2 showed it wants to lead. The 7 wants to pressure. The 1 wants to close. So of the 3 horses that have been within 5 lengths of the leader, is it going to be the speed horse? Is it going to be the pressure horse? Is it going to be the closer? Well, early on, the speed is Jock Naba, along with Cray, not done. Yeah. My brother Charlie, the closer, actually could be forward today. Again, we talked about those left arrow horses. Stewie, the one that wants to be on the front. If it does get the front, we're going to find it has the most late speed, which could be trouble for everybody else. Our top total pace horse in here, Terry, is Stewie. 8 points clear, sheer dominance. My brother Charlie, big drop off there from secured landing. Terry, this race looks like it's the 2 horses race to win, and neither one of us put them on top.
No, I like as my pick of the day, my brother Charlie, the 1. Ran second his last race. His best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Stewie, the 2, the one that you said looks like it might win, is my second choice. Has a high percentage winning trainer. And this trainer wins 20% of the races when using first-time Lasix. Has a high percentage winning jockey, sheer dominance. The 6 is my third choice. Finished third versus Tougher in his last race. Drops in class today, and they added blinkers today so that he keeps his mind on business. Number 9, Secured Landing, is my long shot. He finished 4th after a slow start, and he has a high percentage winning trainer. I like the 1 as my pick of the day, so $16 to win on the 1.
Thank you, Don. We always appreciate the kind words from everybody. We appreciate all the comments today. Whenever you comment in the comment section, it actually gives us an extra points or bonus points or thumbs up or gold stars, whatever you want to call it, with the algorithm. So that helps us when people search for horse racing shows to show up higher in the Google rankings and the YouTube rankings. It also helps us when you hit the like button. So we'd like to say thank you to Yassine Balina. I can't see that well, so forgive me if I really mess things up. Luis Garcia, Yassim Gim, and Jonas Scheifer for the thumbs up on Facebook. Unfortunately, we don't get to see them on YouTube. If you are watching on Twitter, the best way to give us a thumbs up is to like the show, obviously, on there. That helps us with X's algorithm. But also retweeting is a huge help for us and a huge boost to our SEO scores. So we would greatly appreciate that as well. For the last time today, Terry, I agree with Christopher D'Souza in race number 10. His pick of the day is the 7. Your pick of the day is the 1. So I guess we're going to start that competition all over again as Terry leads it 1-0 in our best of 7 series. I agree with Christopher D'Souza with the 7 horse. Came close to par last time out. Drops from a maiden special weight race. So that's the biggest drop in horse racing. The 6 horse in that race, too, was the biggest class dropper, too, that won at 8-1. This one was better across the board with its third start after a layoff coming today. My brother Charlie, your top pick, Terry, gets the second call today. Came close to par as well. Moves up in class after running the top last race speed figure, 7 points of everybody else. And that's why I favored the 7 a little bit over the 1, because it's coming from maiden special weight and the other one's coming up from maiden claiming 20. Usually the ones coming up regress a little bit and the ones coming down go up, but it doesn't always work out that way. Sheer dominance, the 6 horse is a call today for that one as well by our good friend in here, Race Masters. He says sheer dominance is the 1 to beat. So far we're covering every horse in there, Terry. Your horse to beat, Christopher D'Souza's horse to beat, and Race Master's horse to beat. And it looks like we have in here Umut, the 2 horse, Stewie, as the horse to beat. So we got all the horses to beat in our picks except for your 9 horse, Terry. So I think maybe I was spying on all those folks' computer, because Stewie did show some speed, did fade. Now getting that first time Lasix. I love that angle. Second start after a layoff, but I just don't like Ken the Parx shippers, Terry. How many times have they disappointed?
Oh, lots.
Yes, way too many times to overlook.
Yep.
That's it for today. All of our picks in race number 1, the 7-horse one. In race number 2, the 6-horse one. Terry, as its 5th pick, moved it into his pick 4. Me, being a dunce, I didn't put in the biggest class dropper in my pick 4. We hope Terry makes his way through the rest of that. Here are our picks for the rest of the day. Again, Terry and I will be back tomorrow for Parx. We might get a bonus day of Parx on Wednesday. Thursday, it'll be Gulfstream Park. I'm not sure what Tom and I will do for Foreign Friday, but man, have we been on a roll at those foreign tracks. And if you're missing out on that, make sure you subscribe so you don't. Any final thoughts from you, Terry, before we get up and get out of here today?
Yeah, just take it easy this week. Have a good week for everyone, and give your loved ones a hug and a kiss. Tell them how you feel, because you never know what's going to happen from day to day.
You don't know. Certainly, we appreciate you spending your time with us. Of course, it is the one commodity that we all share and have a limited resource of. You can do anything you want with that time. So Terry and I, as well as the entire Horse Racing Today team, are grateful that you join it with us. We certainly hope that no matter what you're doing for the rest of this Muddy Monday, all of your best bets, long shots, picks, your dreams, your hopes, your goals, everything has God's grace, God's favor, Terry, and ends up in our favorite place of all.
The winner's circle.
One more comment there. Which one wins the 3rd? Terry thinks the 2. I think the 5. We think one of those 2, Terry, is going to end up in
the winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Make it a great Muddy Monday.